No, I certainly agree, and I do agree with the point you made as well with the Lifestealer jug, being banned out when you do go for the Mars pickup. I think OB.Neon, like you kind of already mentioned, just assumes the jug isn't going to be meta enough to really be warranted to pick up. But you can't forget that this is Kami-sama we're talking about, John. This is in your dream. He plays a very mean Juggernaut in the given the right circumstances. And I'm particularly curious to see what kind of item build he goes for in the jug, because the meta regarding item builds on Juggernaut has been very, very varied as of late. I didn't mean to say very, very varied, John. I realize how stupid that sounded now, but you get my point. He's a hero that just has multiple item builds that can work. You can still go the Maelstrom, you can still go the Battle Fury build up. Some people don't even go for a farming item, they just go straight damage. We'll find out. OB.Neon, Treant Protector comes out. Not really sure what to say about this one, John. I mean, it's just one of those POS 5s, protects towers, does a lot of damage, dominates the lane. Very, very annoying to play into. I suppose considering you are probably going to be against the POS 4 Rubik, you will have the massive advantage, as Rubik can't really do much against Treant Protector in the laning phase, so it can be quite frustrating. OB.Neon now as well going for that mid laner pickup, who was also nerfed today. I think it was the Fiery Soul was nerfed a little bit, and I think Dragon Slave went up in cooldown by 1 second. So not too big, but naturally it does affect the hero.
Yeah, I think overall this patch kind of just rebalances a few things. It's not enough to really shift the meta too hard. It was definitely more targeted towards Lycan, right? Like the Ag's cooldown was increased, so I don't think the changes to Lina in particular aren't too bad, especially when you consider the Dragon Slave cooldown increase is counteracted by her level 10 talent having an additional second on the reduction of cooldown. So it kind of balances out if you do go for the Dragon Slave cooldown. Of course, that does mean you don't pick up the damage talent, which I think a lot of people do enjoy. So it's a bit of a harder choice for most mids. Still for Neon, still a stable mid. It's still really strong. There's no direct counter for it on NGX. We're not seeing the option for, say, a Nyx, so you're not under threat from having high int. You're not going to be stunned out, scouted out by Nyx. They do go with a Void Spirit here for the mid matchup, which we've seen multiple times. Void Spirit versus Lina. And there are a lot of ways for both sides to just clear out the wave, try to get that early advantage. This is still Lina favored, as she is ranged. She has a lot more wave clear. The Void Spirit can kind of block some of the right-click harassment out, but he can't block out the Dragon Slave and LSA spam. So if the Lina can land her spells, it becomes a lot easier to manage. If not, you can still clear out wave and go for the side camps anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's still somewhat of an even matchup, just depending on who's playing what. Again, you can't forget Makoto's here now for GXR, so I feel like they are looking very, very powerful with this. I don't want to say upgraded stack, but it does feel that way when you've got a player like Makoto coming in. Still final bans to come. Luna being removed, Doom being removed. Very surprising, by the way, Jonathan, to see Doom was actually nerfed in today's patch, and I believe that was a direct T1 nerf, if I do say so myself. It does feel like Carl instigated that nerf on poor old Doom. So there you go.
Yeah, it's one of those things, right? Like, one team just runs one hero so long. Like, that Doom has been part of T1's toolkit for a long time, since the anime dream, even before that. So it finally gets kind of hammered down a bit. We'll see when we do see T1 what they do, but it's still a really stable pick, right? Like, Doom is just ridiculous with the gold it gets, because you get Devour, you get a Midas, you scale up. I don't think Neon's really geared to fight against that. They don't really have a big core that can scale in the same way. Lina can. Mars does have stricter timings there, and can kind of bounce back, but it's still not the greatest late game scaler, unless you itemize for right click, which we rarely see a Mars able to do. So they're just keeping themselves safe.
We got to talk about something, John. Our admin is pinging me. I'm checking his messages to see if it's work related. He's advised me he's going to send me a hair grooming kit or a haircut kit. Now listen, I watched TI-10. I saw Notel with the hair flick. I saw Yawa with the hair flick. I wanted to be part of that, John. I wanted to keep my hair long. I wanted to grow the beard out. People tend to like that. I shouldn't be pressured into going to get a haircut, John. And just so everyone's aware, I'm the original hair flick. I mean, this hair. Look at the volume, John. Look at the color, the shine. Look at it. It's perfect.
Oh, yeah. It is glorious. Like, the moment I flicked on the stream, I saw your beard. I was like, damn,
Mm.
that is sickeningly good. Like, you just let it loose. It's amazing. You do look like someone from Dune, by the way, on the poster. You would fit
I
right in
haven't-
that universe, Mike.
What cinema did you go to watch Dune, John?
I will not self-compromise myself, but I did not watch it in the cinema. That's as far as I'll say. And I'm sure a lot of people from the Philippines will sympathize with me. The picks are coming true, Mike, moving away from movies. Troll Warlord coming out for Palos, and Mizu gets to pick up his signature Brewmaster. So they've got a really strong offlane, a lot of good control on NGX. We've seen Mizu, we've seen Miracle on that Brewmaster before. He has spectacular control. He is going to look for his Ags timing, possibly refresh as well, just to keep that split spam going. But they have a lot of ways of just isolating these heroes. It's a really great counter pick to Troll as well. So once you see the Troll pop Battle Trance, you get your split off, you just cyclone the Troll. It becomes a non-issue. It's just one very hard counter for those physical cores who just have this active state that want to hit. Brewmaster cancels it off, and Neon don't really have an answer to that. So Paulus is going to have to watch himself in this game. Laning phase is still so-so. A Brewmaster can hold its own, make that lane annoying for the Troll. But I think down the line, this could feel like a game where the Troll will have to be buying a bit of a quick BKB if he wants to have impact in early fights.
That's what I keep wondering about this hero. Like, I see pro teams pick up Troll Warlord, and I just wonder every time why. Like, what's the purpose of this hero at this point? Like, it still just doesn't feel powerful enough. Maybe against the Jug, you feel quite confident. You know, your bash can kind of go through spin. You don't really care about that, but I'm not sure. I think it's going to be a pretty hard matchup for OB.Neon based on drafts. John, do you agree with that sentiment? Do you feel like GXR does have the superior draft going into this game one, or are you looking the other way?
Yeah, I'd lean towards NGX as well. I think they've got the answers to it. Like, again, down the line, a Troll is going to have to worry about Brewmaster split, which is not something a Pause 1 wants to worry about at all. But the moment you get Cycloned up, you have nothing to break that Cyclone. I believe Swap was the only consistent answer to that, to drag someone back down. No saves like that. Right. So Paulus is going to need a BKB. I'm not sure how quick he's going to want to farm it. We tend to see Trolls go for something like S and Y, maybe Diffusal Basher. At some point, that spell means he's going to have to come true. And we'll see if Paulus is disciplined enough to go that route. And remember, Paulus is a fairly fresh addition to OB.Neon. Beforehand, he was playing on Boom for a bit. Right? And beforehand, it was Execration. So they have played a little bit more in OB.Neon. Again, they've played in, I believe, PNX Bet and Moon Studios, whereas GXR or NGX hasn't really played as much. That could give OB.Neon an edge, or who knows? They have less data on NGX as well, unless they've had some scrims together.
Absolutely. And for all the people wondering when Miracle was playing for NGX, you've got him right here on the Brewmaster. Naturally, Miracle did decide to move to Southeast Asia from Europe to join this stack and renamed himself to Mizu, just to kind of ward off the hype a little bit. You know, he's a very popular player. You know, he's going to get swarmed by people, so change his name to Mizu. But we do have Miracle here for NGX, so everyone calm down. He's around.
The battle begins.
Yeah, it's one of those things. We'll see if again if Neon managed to override that, and if NGX does get that strong start. Again, Mizu or Miracle, not like. Not the other Miracle, as people always confuse Mike, as you're trying to play into.
I might get in trouble with that joke. I mean, I copped it from, who was it? It was Heen. Heen had a tweet about me. He was not happy when I mispronounced Miracle as Miracle in the middle of a massive team fight. I manned up. I apologized to Heen, John. Didn't make any excuses.
Yeah. Mizu's making it easier now as we'll see his lane breakout. Again, Paulus on the Troll, helped out by Abeng on that Treant. And, that's the one advantage you do have with the Treant. You can really whack heroes in. Issue is, tree line's been cut down. They've made use of that early Quelling Blade quite nicely, so Abeng's angles are a bit tougher to find. He can still apply some good pressure, but at some point, once this Brewmaster hits his levels, once you've got, I believe level 3 is a really good point for that, along with level 2 on Jokam, you can really start to lay it back, and Hopping's got to be a bit careful. His damage is good level 1, he's got to really lay it on early.
No, it's not a fun Rubik lane whatsoever. Like, even with the Brewmaster, it's going to be a massive struggle, and OB.Neon, especially at these earlier levels, are going to have even more of an advantage, so I think you just apply the pressure while you can before the Cinderbrew gets a bit too obnoxious to have to play against, and we'll see how they make it work. Of course, over in the mid lane, you do have Jamesy there with Makoto. So Makoto, the new addition for the side of NGX. Obviously a fantastic player. I think he's a very nice addition to this team. Against JMC on the Lina, and you did comment that he might be at a disadvantage here against the Lina, and at least for now he is behind in terms of CS, but he's doing a pretty good job of keeping up, right? It is a hard matchup for the Void Spirit. Right now 10-1 in comparison to the 11-0 of JMC. So all things being said and done, quite even at least for now.
Yeah, it is a lot more forgiving for JMC though. Like every single time you just spam out Dragon Slave, get right clicks off. Uptime for Resonant Pulse is pretty good, but it's not like you can always lay it on and also apply harassment onto Alina with her range. So JMC working the lane well. Mikado's got the bottle up, but still has to be careful, although it's going
nice
deep.
Remnant. Resonant Pulse is there. JMC gonna go for a run and was one right click away from dying, but the end Mikoto obviously will have to let him go as he was near that tier 1 tower. It's like JMC has a tango and has a full bottle ready to go whenever. And of course, over down at the bot lane, John, Enryu and Hustler are going to be against Kami-sama himself. And you've got Polison there on that Pos 5 Snapfire. At least for now, it does seem like in your dream, he's doing a decent enough job in terms of CS. I suppose, though, against the Mars, even if you do have that inbuilt magic immunity with the spin, it's not going to help your CS too much. And I think Mars is one of those really great offlaners that just denying the hell out of your own creeps. And, in your dream, yeah, not off to the most amazing start quite yet.
Yeah, it's also down to the laning duo. You can be aggressive with a Snapfire on hand, but you also have to respect just that stun control, chain stuns from OB.Neon. If you're not fast enough with your Blade Fury, you could easily just get pinned, get hexed down, Earth Spike impaled, or at least, Spear of Mars afterward, and it's really easy to just lose grip there. Of course, you could cookie and spin as well.
That they are. Enryu is going to cop a fair bit of damage here in your dream. He might go for a chase, and he's one more right click, and he does get a Polison. He'll be there in time. In your dream, he'll pop the Fairy Fire and just keep going down. Hustler, he's going to try and Fairy Fire up himself, but no, in your dream. Understands how far he can push the Jug, and does secure another kill for the side of NGX. In the meantime, though, Palos, he was able to pick up Joe Cam on the Rubik. So eventually they do at least manage to get some sort of a trade here on the side of OB.Neon.
Radiant's courier has been
It's an important kill for both sides. Much better for NGX, though. You kill off the offlaner, get a little bit more free time, and your dream is starting to catch up a bit. He is falling behind in CS compared to our Troll, but the kills in lane kind of help his cause, and eventually the Jug can keep up farming pace with a Troll, again, depending on itemization. Battle Fury works for both heroes, but it's very greedy. I think we're likely to see both heroes go for maybe some farm-oriented build with maybe a Maelstrom for the Jug specifically, but I think the Troll's going to be looking for stat resist, a Diffusal down line, so S and Y, Diffu could be the build-up. We're already seeing In Your Dream queuing up the Falcon Blade, which was an item talked a lot about before TI, right? Very stat efficient. Should really boost the presence of In Your Dream down the line. I don't think the Trolls... Oh, okay, you already have the Falcon Blade as well in Palo, so both sides just going safe for now. Value item early pickup. Again, whether or not they go for a slower build-up on either side remains to be seen.
And keep in mind as well, the Falcon Blade was nerfed today. I believe it went up in cost a little bit, so not too much to, I really think, affect the item being bought, but it was nerfed just a tiny bit. Can't remember exactly how much gold it is now, but it does matter in the end because this is a very early kind of item you want on your causes. Palos, he's going to get chased down now. Palos, he'll go for a turnaround. Actually, Joe Cam will be able to run away, but you can kind of see, even once you land that Cinderbrew Fadebolt combination, it's just nowhere near enough to actually deal with Palos' mid lane. Jamesy ends up picking up a solo kill without committing the Laguna Blade. Mikoto getting caught out. And that was a solo kill, John. Nobody else around to help out Jamesy.
Yeah, that's huge. Jamesy gets pretty much a level and a half ahead of Mikoto now in terms of levels. This Lena's building up really fast, hopped in CS right now. Has been able to control her side camps as well, despite these small camps, bounties, and XP being nerfed a bit. Still impactful for a hero like this, and regen.
Mikoto's going to be able to pick it up. Jamesy, he's got some help around with a Ben coming in, and Mikoto, he's going to be able to get out just fine with the Dissimulate, but he's taking a little bit of damage there, and I suppose it won't matter anyway because he does have a regen rune. But now, I mean, with that level disparity between him and Jamesy, he's going to have to spend a bit more time in the mid lane. Jamesy, he does have the opportunity to rotate if he really wants to. I'd say he might just stick around though and just continue trying to dominate this lane as well, you see the 8th Remnant pop out, but that's going to be about it from Makoto. And yeah, I suppose for Jamesy, there's just no reason to move right now as the laner. Like, you don't really have the greatest rotations to make. Still top lane, Palos gonna be in danger. Still level 5, so does not have the battle trance. And now Paulison comes in with the cookie. Palos, he's gonna try and fight this one out. Fairy Fire has been eaten with the living armor. He might just make it, but no, Joe Cam. He's got the Fade Bolt. It'll be more than enough to take down Palos.
Yeah, they're at the point here for NGX that they can kind of leave the jug alone. You know, you've got the levels in your dream, you've got the spin to save yourself, so you can focus on top, get the push in, pressure that troll, start to commit to towers. Now, the tower push is a bit slow, but Jamesy...
No, Laguna comes through. Jamesy just bursts down Mizu so darn easily. Really nothing he could have done on the Brewmaster. And well, I said the laner might not make too many rotations, but I suppose while you're here, you may as well find a secondary as Paulison. I believe he was spotted there for a second. A bang. Moving down, does get the slow off, but eventually the cookie will come out. Jamesy unable to keep up, and well, a bang, he does get himself a nice tip on the way out.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle. I think mainly because naturally with Nature's Grasp, you want to hit a tree. I don't think Abang's been able to do that in lane too often. They are going to scuffle, though.
They are going to try for that power rune. Haste is picked up by the tree, and Jamesy has been dived though. Makoto, he's there. Cookie, not going to fly out quite yet. In fact, it was already thrown out, but a big Earth Spike. Hustler, they've already got the leader down, but they might find a great trade for themselves. As Makoto does end up dropping, and now Abang just going to chase down Paulison. They'll find another kill as now Mizu. He'll join the fray and will eventually be able to pick off the tree protector. His tips are flying around from both ends. I believe the side of OB.Neon still came out on top of that one.
Yeah, they get a 2-for-3 trade. They find a lot of those kills in a great fashion. I think the big takeaway though is that your troll has to show up for that fight. And Apollos has to put his body forward. Compare that to In Your Dream just sitting bot, basically AFKing that lane. It's not as much of a gain for NGX though, that free farm for In Your Dream. Apollos still has more CS on hand, still has way more denies. Just about 100 gold behind In Your Dream and farm, so the troll and jug are still lined up in their spikes, and I think as the game goes on, early on, a troll is much more flexible to play around with early items compared to a jug. Like for Juggernaut, you're tied into Omni Slash almost always. If you don't have Omni Slash, you don't really want to fight. Whereas for a troll, Battle Trance is a lower cooldown, it's easier to use. You do have more ways to kind of flex out up front, and they will kind of rotate here with Hustler.
Yeah, big smoke up. At least down to the bot lane right now. In Your Dream, gonna try and spin away. Hustler does eventually get the Hex off, and well, they burst down the jug. Can NGX find a trade? It seems like they're gonna try for that mid-tier 1 tower. I don't believe they'll have anywhere near enough damage though, especially without that 10-minute siege creep. They're gonna try and stick around and dominate this area as a Bing. He's gonna spot out a couple of supports here from NGX. Joe Cam. He's gonna see him, but won't be able to get the lift off. And in the end, they're just going to keep trying for this push in the mid-tier 1. That living armor, though, it's going to be rather annoying to try and push into. I think eventually they might just give up on this. So OB.Neon, they're bringing the reinforcements in. Not enough to really defend, but they are certainly threatening. No, NGX, they're not giving up. They've got the siege creep here. They're going to keep trying, and that'll force in Enryu on the Mars. They will split out Mizu, but he gets the split off in time and will chase down Hustler. The Lion should get caught out, but there is your ulti out from a Bang. That might just be enough to force them back, but Mizu now going to go after the tier 1 mid tower, and in fact a Bang, he is going to get jumped. Makoto's there. Spear, though, is going to fly out from Enryu, but it's all too late. Makoto will walk away scot-free. That's a big tower to find here for NGX.
Yeah, that's exactly what you have to do against a Treant, though. It may look like a bit of overcommitment. You have to keep throwing bodies forward for the towers. You cannot slow siege up against Treants. You have to fully commit to take the objective. They take the big one mid, they buy space in Dreamhole.
This is not what you want to see. If you're OB.Neon right now, Jamesy getting caught out on that laner after such a great start. And now Hustler, he's going to try and turn this one around, but there's a spear out. It's just not going to mean enough as you haven't got the backup damage. And now Hustler, he's going to drop as the Mortimer's Kisses come in from Paulison. Well, Makoto, he's having a field day already on this Void Spirit. He's 1, 2, and 4, but he's just been so active across the map. And even without really many items going on, he's just making so much work happen for NGX.
It all comes down to rune control for NGX here, Mike. They've had really great power runes coming into Mikoto. They haven't been able to get the runes on OB.Neon side, which is also funny playing into the poster today about runes. It's having a high impact for Mikoto. He's just utilizing it a lot better on the Void Spirit, and he finds another. He finds a regen, so he's going to be fresh up on mana, although...
Yep, mid lane, who have they found? Well, it's going to be Makoto. Hex is out. They've got the Earth Spike, but do they have the damage? It doesn't seem like it. Dissimulate is going to be there, but no, the finger. Hustler from a mile away, and now the arena catches out JoeCam. Really just great play from OB.Neon. It looks like Hustler was just waiting for that finger to come off cooldown. Eventually just gets it in the nick of time. Really just a great set of kills here for the dire end.
Yeah, and that's going to set Hustler up for a fast blink as well. Just about 700 gold away. 600 gold. So once he has that up, it's going to be easier for OB.Neon to get their initiation on. They've got the blink up on Enryu. You get the lion follow-up. The chain stuns fly through. It's easier to set up for the spear toss as well. So you're getting the tools out in OB.Neon. They are still in the top 3 in net worth as well. All cores having a fun time here. Palos just given free reign in the bot lane to keep building up. No one really spot checking him. You do have Mizu hanging in the tree line. He does not have a blink. He does have a Midas, so it's slow burn build for NGX, but they will smoke us tree on mid.
Well, they've got to try it. I mean, their only objective right now is to keep buying space for In Your Dream as a bang. Is going to get spotted, but this isn't really the target you wanted to find. They'll take what they can get, but they were certainly looking for a core hero on the side of OB.Neon, and, well, that they will not find. You look at those 3 cores right now on OB.Neon, John. Top of the net worth board, just consistently. Even with Jamesy dropping a couple deaths earlier on, he's still just sitting at the top of the net worth, followed by his own Pos 1 troll, and then, of course, you've got the Mars straight after. That is a rather concerning sign for NGX. You look at In Your Dream, he's still just trying to get towards that Maelstrom timing. Should have it very, very soon, but until then, it is very slow going. And of course, Palos, he's had the Maelstrom for a bit of time now. So he's already escalating in farm.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit tough. Again, it's an issue of core versus core matchup as the game goes on. The Jug just doesn't feel like it does great. It does really good early on because of all the damage he brings out with the Omni Slash, his self-sustain, Wood Ward, and his Spell Immunity and Blade Fury. But for the Troll, your answer is still only really Mizu with that Cyclone and Split Form, and he's not going to have that up every single time until the Ags refreshes up, which is still a long way, you know, with that Midas build. So I think you have to kind of worry about how much space Palos will get.
Another nice setup here. They've got the Snapfire, and Paulison should just end up dropping, but now Makoto going to come in after Hustler and just try to go for a Pos 5 trade, and they'll get it. JoeCam, nice spear there on the backside of Hustler. Does manage to at least get something for their time. Still a very even game, but over in the bot side, Mizu going to chase down a Bang, but here comes Palos to try and intercept in a Bang. He's going to survive through this. In fact, Mizu, he's the one in danger, and the Laguna comes through. Jamesy picks up another kill. The Makoto, apparently just all across the map, does at least get something for his team. But it's still just the Tree and Protector in the end, and you do lose a Brewmaster for that.
Yeah, not the favorable trade for NGX. OB.Neon's going to be very happy just giving more kills towards Jamesy. You know, he's building up into the Shadow Blade very soon. He's going to have a lot of mobility, a lot of presence with the travels up as well. Hustler, though, being gunned mid.
Yeah, he's having a tough time right now against this Void Spirit as he gets the Hex off, but it's just not going to matter. JoeCam able to pick up another kill. Makoto really showing quite a bit of dominance here in this Void Spirit. And this hero is arguably stronger in the late game than it is early right now, so... You know, only better things to come from Makoto as a spear back is going to land onto Paulison. James is going to be there with the follow-up damage. We'll find another kill onto the Snapfire, but here comes the cavalry. JoeCam, he gets another nice spear off onto Enryu, and now the Aether Remnant is going to drag back the Mars. But it won't be enough. He does prove to be tanky enough this time around and does make his way up.
Yeah, and OB.Neon's really making good use of this defensive ward in their jungle. Like the vision game they had there, Enryu's patience to just dance around in that area to bait them into a fight. Surprised that we didn't see Paulson drop a D-ward. He had the sentries up. They're not really getting too much aggressive vision here from NGX, but they're putting their bodies forward. They need more info on the map to make these rotations successful, especially against a treant who can hide in the jungle. And so far, Neon's just been able to punish that movement quite well. So I think that's something NGX has to look at. They have to get a bit more info on the map, drop some more wards. Do you see OB.Neon, though, going for another smoke play?
Yeah, I mean, why the hell not? You've still got just the net worth advantage. You're buying so much space for your troll. You may as well just keep this up. They'd love to find Mizu another time. They do have the finger up, so they might have just enough damage to actually burst him down. In fact, they should have just enough. So Bang will reveal himself on the on an illusion. Mizu hanging around a Bang. He's gonna just get some D wards out, but rest of NGX is coming in. Bang, he's still alive throughout all this. This Treant is proving to be very tanky as he gets the overgrowth off, but Makoto will have none of it. Eventually just step himself in and secures the kill for the team.
Yeah, it's still not the biggest loss for OB.Neon, though. I think they're going to be fine breaking a smoke, losing a Treant in a counter smoke play from NGX. They're still working the map well. They're not being punished down bot. They have an aggressive ward now to watch the spot as they push into tier 2 as well. So they know that they've got control of this area. They're just building up farm. They're buying space for Palos on the opposite end of the map, playing top with no one around him. Just not finding the angles here on NGX yet. They are at least starting to get some info out on the triangle. You know, they do manage to drop a forward triangle ward. They can play around this area a bit better.
Your main concern for NGX is still Palos. He's still been freely farming up this whole time. Now a full 1k net worth ahead, although now, as I say that, they found him. Primal Split is there. Paulison, he'll go down across the map, but it won't matter if you found Palos. He will get the battle trance, though, just in the nick of time, but they cyclone him right up into the air, and a Bang. He's coming to try and help, but he's just going to be another kill, it looks like, as Palos. He will eventually drop down. They do at least get Joe Cam, but is it really worth? A Bang? Be chased down by Mizu. In fact, Hustler, he'll jump in for a nice hex off, but Makoto, he's going to be there. The Remnant those off the mark. He will not catch Jamesy. Instead, jumping back in off the Hustler in your dream. He's dropping very low on the jump, but he gets the Omni off in time. Can they kill him off, Jamesy? He's going to try, but he can't do it. Oh, Kami-sama comes in from the side. And he ends up getting them a triple kill on the side of NGX as Makoto. He's the one to pick it up. And the balls on this man to move in with low HP like that and still secure the kills. Just great plays here from In Your Dream.
Oh yeah, he makes it work in the end. It looked a bit janky of a fight for NGX, but this time around they had a vision. They knew it was safe for In Your Dream to come in. He cleans up. It's a difference of toolkits, again, in the heroes. Like, we talked about it from draft, but when your troll has to play against a Brewmaster with split available, the Cyclone just ruins his hull. Now, you could argue a Jug gets ruined by Ghost Scepter and Yules, which you can do on OB.Neon. The issue is none of those items have been farmed up by OB.Neon, so they're not protected from the Omni Slash at all. And the one thing OB.Neon has, though, is that they know Omni Slash is down, they know Split is down, there's no Ags, so it's only one charge. They could look to force the fight if they want.
Bang's down now as well, so they can just keep going if they really want. Enryu, he's trying to set up a fight on this Mars. Might be able to find the real angle and timing to drop the Arena Spear out onto Makoto, and would you look at that, John? Makoto finds himself another very, very valuable power rune, the double damage, and, well, NGX, Roshan's open now for them. Still got 10 seconds without the Treant Protector, and hell, even if he's available, I don't know if you can really fight into this Radiant End right now.
No. Like, Split is back up. Your teamfight control on OB.Neon's pretty good, but Enryu has to show up, and they're going to TP in now. It's a bit of a slow response. Hiroshi is going fairly fast with that DD running. Got to commit quick if they want to fight this.
How are they going to fight against Makoto with an Aghanim Scepter up? It's going to be very challenging to be able to get anything off without the BKBs available. At the very least, they've got the Troll BKB, but it's all too late. They've lost the Aegis. In Your Dream, he'll be able to take it. And you've got to give props to the man, John, In Your Dream, considering the rough start he had on this Jug, is now top the net worth for it. And it doesn't appear to be slowing down anytime soon.
He's found his groove now. He's working the map well. You gotta love the fact that he finds a Brigand's Blade as well in the tier 2.
Beautiful.
So the Jug's just gonna enjoy chipping right through people. You know, a bit of an anecdote. I have experienced what you've seen in pubs. I remember you talking about core players not wanting to pick that thing up.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've had to play Wind Ranger support with Brigand's Blade because my core wouldn't pick it up. I don't know why. It's such a good item, and on the Jug it just shows a ton, right? Omni Slash, your damage is going to rip right through the roof as they drop lower and lower. Your damage just keeps scaling up. OB.Neon, they're lagging behind a bit now. 2k behind, not the biggest gap. This has been a really even game start to finish, start till now. Right, like 1k, 2k lead for either side at any given point. But this is the point where OB.Neon might want to take it a bit slower. You know, start to get more items up. They need to play with this BKB on Palos. And I think they're going to need a couple of Ghost Scepters on supports just so they don't get bursted down by the Jug down the line.
Jamesy and Hustler moving in. They have found Mizu and Ryu going to be there with the arena, but no, the jump in. Makoto's there, and how did the spear push him out?
What?
How did he get out of the arena?
The cookie!
Oh, the
jump.
cookie!
Bottom tower
Oh, not
Oh,
again. Top lane, a bang.
top tower.
Probably going to drop here. Makoto, he might be able to just find him. In fact, never mind, he'll give up. The cookie once again. In fact, never mind, Makoto, he's found his target. There you go, there's a tree to go down. These interactions in Dota, John, they never cease to surprise me. I've been playing this game for... it's at least 15 years now since Dota All-Stars, and
Dyer's
they
top
just
tower
never cease to surprise me. I mean, the cookie, what does it make you jump like half a meter? The arena walls,
Yeah.
how big are they?
has fallen.
Like, it seemed like Mizu was doing a
pretty
high
high.
jump. The Olympics are in Dota now.
Yeah, it was so weird. It's either... Oh wait, hold that.
Yeah, hold that indeed. Sans is around Makoto. He's got a 3-man. Jamesy and Palos. They're going to pop the BKBs, but now the Omni Slash right through them. Split up, boys. You can't both take it. In your dream, he is not going to get latched onto a tree. He's still trying to run the hills around. Can he get out of this? He's still got the Aegis up anyway. But they've got the first life. Joe Cam right in with the finger. They'll go in after the troll, but it's not enough. He gets the battle trance off, and now he's back in on Makoto with the overgrowth. It's going to be enough to take him down. They'll try for the Rubik. Battle trance is there, but it's not going to matter as Joe Cam will drop. But they do at least get In Your Dream out of there. Meanwhile, in the back, it looks like Enryu was trying to catch out Polison on the Snapfire, but he's not going to be able to get him in time.
Some really good high ground hold from OB.Neon, leveraging their team fight, using the controller really well in such a tight choke point for GXR. GXR have to be a bit cautious. They rely a lot on the Brewmaster. They rely a lot on Mizu to actually help them set up these fights. If he does get picked off, isolated like that before he can get good control of a split, you lose a lot of impact. And I think they have to protect that Brewmaster more than anything else. Ensure that Mizu can get the control off first before they hard commit. OB.Neon, they buy themselves more time. They take care of the Aegis. They don't have to worry about that second life. They have gotten some control back in the top jungle for Paulus to keep farming up. And he is going for the SNY build now. So more stat resist on hand. That means the Cyclone's not going to last as long. He's going to be able to, have a little bit more time or a little bit more leeway to use the battle trance here. It's still not amazing, but it's not going to be as bad as without the stat resist. And I think that's really important for the troll here. Do see... Again, Jamesy building up. Silver Edge almost up. That's a big spike for Luna anyway.
They have found the jug, and with Lacuna and Finger up, you're going to have plenty of damage. And Joe Cam. Joe Cam. Oh, maybe this is the setup. Makoto's going to jump in onto Hustler, but Joe Cam's down. I'm not sure how worthwhile this trade is. Hustler, he'll survive, and now the Mortimer's Kisses, though. They're going to come in and finish off the line. In fact, they may have even found a second. Jamesy, no, the Aether Remnant is off the mark, so Makoto, he can't follow up. Polison, he's going to back off, but Beng now going to be targeted here by Mizu, and might eventually drop and does. But a few misplays here, I feel like, from the side of NGX and OB.Neon.
Dyer's middle tower
Still in the end, suppose you'd still have to argue it does favor, in a way, OB.Neon, because they do end up finding the junk kill.
Yeah, it's a really big win for OB.Neon. They're managing to save Jamesy as well, so the Silver Edge is fully up and running. If you thought Lena's damage was ridiculous before, it's going to be even higher. And again, it just doesn't feel like the nerfs have really stopped Lena from being a beast. Cooldown reduction is not much of a-
Oh my goodness, Henry here. Aether Remnant drops to get a range creep, and Enryu, at the exact same time, blinks into it. Does not get the spear or arena off.
Yeah, and that would have been a pretty good fight for OB.Neon. They had JMC hanging around. That would have been the Silver Edge reveal. They would have had enough damage to rip through one core, at least, and maybe even clean up. So I think NGX is going to be counting their lucky stars there with that play, saving Mikado inadvertently. Still, 1k lead, floating around 2k for OB.Neon. They are really starting to build up in the Troll, and I think, again, as this goes late game, it does feel like the Troll is going to have maybe a little bit of an easier time. Uptime of Battle Trance is a lot higher than Omni Slash in your dreams. Period of strength is limited, because once he pops that Omni, it's a 2-minute, 20-second cooldown. So he has a lot of downtime where he can't really leverage his items, leverage his farm.
They might run right into the Troll by himself. Palos, he's going to show up the top lane. This is really unfortunate timing as, well, there's a lot of heroes from NGX here, and Palos, Cookie is going to land, and your dream should have plenty of damage to finish off the kill, but Palos, he's going to BKB up and try to fight and buy time for his team to come in. In fact, he found Jokam. He found Jokam, and now NGX, they're the ones that run as Enryu. He's going to try and chase them down. He's a bit off the mark with the blink. They see the junk, but they're not feeling confident enough to make the move in. In fact, they found Makoto instead, but the spear is off the mark. Enryu gonna keep trying to run. Mizu will chase him down. This BKB, it's gonna wear off eventually, but not soon enough for Mizu to continue the chase. Meanwhile, John is trapped in a very awkward scenario right now on this tree line. Looks like he's not gonna be found out though, so he's gonna be just fine.
Yeah, it's a awkward spot. His TP's on cooldown for half a minute, so he's not going to be able to TP out. But once the creep wave passes by, he's safe. He's going to be able to wall his way. Bit curious about that engagement. In Your Dream did not commit his Omni. I think he was worried about the Battle Trance coming through anyway, so they cut their losses short. NGX are forcing these fights without Mizu. They need that Brewmaster around to get those kills. Like, if they had Mizu around for some counterplay on the Battle Trance, it would have been a lot easier for them to fully commit for the Troll kill, clean up afterwards. Mizu was just not in the area fast enough. OB.Neon surrounding here, maybe looking to force an issue.
They know they've got the net worth advantage, and the power spike is there. Jamesy with the Silver Edge up now definitely wants to try and get a nice setup for his team as the rest do smoke up. Pings are out, they're going to spot out Makoto on the Void Spirit, but can they get in range and actually land a stun here onto the Void? Instead, they're going to move into the triangle. There's a much bigger target in Your Dream. He's going to try, but no, the Hex is out in time. He will not be able to get the spin off. Jokam, he didn't get the lift off either. Spear, though, is not going to land in time. In Your Dream, he's going to be able to spin out of the arena. Jokam, he does drop it for the greater good as In Your Dream. He's on the run, and the buybacks are there as now Makoto. He's going to jump back in. Omni slashes out. Jamesy, he's in a bit of trouble. He'll survive, but not for long. They'll end up getting the kill. Lift up onto the high ground, but it's still not enough. Palos able to finish off the job. In fact, now Makoto, he's going to be in danger. Step charge in a second, though. Might be enough to get him out, but he gets bashed up. Root is there now as well. How unlucky can Makoto get? Looks like he will be able to break the gap. As Mizu is going to keep trying to fight out Makoto. He's back in onto Abeng. Gets another kill for the team. Abeng, he's going to commit the buyback as now Aether Remnant. Here's our Palos. Laguna's there from our Rubik, but he is still alive and still fighting. Or maybe not Makoto. He gets in with the Astral Step. Great kiting from the Void Spirit. And now the Aether Remnant setup for another triple kill here for Makoto. There's a very prolonged team fight here from the Void Spirit, John, but you saw how well he kited out. In fact, they found another. Abeng he just brought back. And he was showing right into the mid lane underneath an Observer Ward. And he's going to get punished for it.
Oh man, that's a massive win for NGX. It looked really good for Neon first. They managed to get a really good jump on the Jug, cancel back the first lift save with a spear, because he didn't land fast enough, so it interrupted that interaction. In the end, they managed to stall out long enough to get the Jug going. Like, they still lose In Your Dream, but they kill off all the bigger cores on OB.Neon. They're building up on Mikado. He is starting to become very scary on that Void Spirit with his BKB, although
Yeah, what's even scarier, John, Mizu's got the refresher orb up now, and he's just literally popping the primal split to be able to take the tier 3 tower for free. In the meantime, mid lane, Makoto, he's going to end up dropping. Paulison, he does drop quite low, but he is still alive enough to get the cookie stun off, and Jamesy is going to be forced to retreat now, so he cannot continue this fight. In the meantime, Mizu, he is still ratting the top lane. Primal split out again. He might just have this. A Lotus Orb probably not really going to help him out. They'll bring the leaner in. Jamesy, he'll get stunned up. Mizu, he's still going. And he finds he finds the melee barracks. He finds everything he could have asked for, and he's just going to walk out.
You gotta love Mizu's Brewmaster. He loves this here. He's one of the best brews up there, you know, along with Ice 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 when he was in Southeast Asian. Who knows? He might be back. Still, just showing how much impact a little space can have for a team, right? You get enough focus away. They focus much more in the mid-tier 2. They lose out on their top melee racks. A bit of a shove in for NGX on that lane now. So they're always going to have one lane that's in their advantage and gives them a little bit more room to play with. Gives them better control of the top jungle because of the natural state of the wave. And that gives them easy Roshan access, which is up again. So the Aegis and Ag Shard is ready to go if they want to take it. They've got good vision here on NGX. Neon a bit blind right now. No wards to spawn out that movement, Mike. And no wards at all, actually, that can help them secure the map. So they've got to be a bit careful. And they do get a good scan out, but it's not really starting on the Roshan yet.
Yeah, it's almost a bit of a pump fake on the scan there in the Dire. Rather the Radiant, they just kind of fake out the Roshan. OB.Neon, they might waste a little bit of time around this Roshan pit trying to stop them, but it looks like they've already got the information, letting them know that the Roshan isn't really happening. I'm sure OB.Neon realize right now they are behind in net worth, and they'd probably rather not force a fight if they don't have to. Meanwhile, NGX grouped up in the mid lane, might pop a smoke or maybe just go for the kill. Palos, Earthspike's gonna be there. They've got the Cinderbrew, they've got the lift up into the cookie. They're throwing everything but the kitchen sink, but Palos, he's not dead yet. Does he get the battle trance off in time? In fact, never mind, he won't even need to. Palos, he is still alive and just walks out of there. Enryu is gonna try and run, but he will be the sacrificial lamb. It looks like it's Makoto. He's jumping right into the backlines onto a bang, and they'll find another. And that should open up Roshan. In fact, John, there's 15 seconds left for the power rune. Do we see a double damage?
Oh, you know it's going to come out. You know it's going to come out. They're not going to wait for it. They're going to take Roshan first. As is tradition, you get Rosh, you get double damage right after. Roshan not going to take too long. No arena to worry about. Oh, it's an illusion. Well, the curse has been broken. Maybe the update fixed those odds, Mike. Who knows?
You never know, John. Bit of a shadow nerf on the double damage runes. I don't know if you noticed, John, during T-High 10, it felt like before every Roshan double damage was spawning up. Every time.
Oh, yes. It's definitely very high in occurrence. One must wonder if it's on purpose. Still, Aegis up onto In Your Dream. Kami-sama now with 2 lives to live through. And the free Ag Shard upgrade, I believe, going to Mikado. So he's got the larger dissimulate, harder to catch out that Void Spirit, much more mobile now. They're going to be smoking up again. Neon's still pretty blind on the map. Their one ward by Roshan was taken out immediately. They don't really have outer vision. They do have the bot lane to play with, which is what Jamesy's just keeping focused in and shoving out with his travels, with his Silver Edge for some scouting potential as well. But NGX, they're not under too much pressure. They've got the Rax advantage in one lane. They've got Aegis. They can kind of just work this map out well and choke out OB.Neon slowly.
Well, drums pop. They are rushing towards that top lane. OB.Neon, they've forgotten someone behind. Palos, he's going to get silenced up on the 8th Remnant. It's right on the mark. They've got the lift up, but it's not enough. Oh, maybe it might be Palos. Forced the BKB up. Battle Trance is there in time. Arena down as well, but can they catch anyone? Omni Slash flying right through the side of OB.Neon. They have so much damage on the side of NGX, and they've already bursted down the troll, as well as Enryu on the Mars, and well, it's not looking great for the side of OB.Neon as now the overgrowth is there. Joe Cam, he has stolen everything, including this game 1, away from the side of OB.Neon. As now NGX, they will rush down through the top lane, and GG's called. They've seen enough. It was a pretty even game, I feel like, from OB.Neon here in this game 1, John, but in the end, NGX, they do manage to take over.
Yeah, they just managed to have patience. For a while, it looked like OB.Neon had a control early game. They were getting out the early aggression. They were building up really good farm on JMC and Palos. It was a bit of a slower start for Mikado and for In Your Dream, for Kami-sama. Not the fastest farming start for them, and the aggression wasn't lining up for NGX. But it was that one fight in the triangle that set the pace, right? The moment In Your Dream could show up, use the Omni Slash, clean up, OB.Neon wasn't really itemized to go against that. They had no Yules on hand, they had no Ghost Scepters on hand to counteract the Omni, whereas for NGX, they had the split, they had the Cyclone for Palos. So even if he popped Battle Trance, your Pos 1 with all the farm is just kind of taken out of the picture. And the Lina, while Jamesy did have a lot of farm, you kind of need more. Like, you didn't really have the best way to leverage the Lina. She needs a body in front of her because of how squishy she is. And the Troll would have been the ideal body, but it never reached a point where Palos could just stand up front safely and use his spells in the right manner. So NGX managing to outplay OB.Neon here, but it's a really close game. Looking forward to how Game 2 goes here.
Oh, we will find out how Game 2 is going to go in about 10 minutes, John. We're going to head off to a break, and right after that break, we'll be back with Game 2 between Nigma, SEA, and of course, the side of OB.Neon. We'll see you very soon.